This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 6 of The Real Word.
I'm glad you remembered what number.
Yeah.
That's good.
I can count. I want to amend episode 5 a little bit.
We got to talk about it.
Is that okay?
Yeah, you were like super pumped about 18.
I'm still pumped, by the way.
And then you were like, psh,
No, I'm still super pumped. I'm still super bullish despite anything like this, this politics. If there's something geopolitical, I guess that
well, you did
would
mention
impact
that.
Right, I
you
mentioned
did say that. So
but I want to amend it further because and I'm not going to take any sides in politics. In fact, I don't take any sides. I don't touch that.
No
shit.
way.
So we're staying away from that part of the discussion. I see in like the Inman comments, there's a lot of political commentary around this topic. We're not going there with this at all. I just want to amend a little bit.
I wouldn't even know how to go there.
My passion for the tax cut. I think the tax cut overall is going to help the economy. But when I saw what came out after the episode dropped, and part of this tax plan that is being proposed, it would have in my opinion, negative impact on residential single-family real estate in this country, and really for maybe the West Coast and where we are in the Northeast specifically, because we're talking about homes over $500,000.
Right.
So essentially, what I'd like to amend is.
Oh, we're amending. We're doing like the Byron plan.
This is the I don't have a plan. No.
Well, maybe we should. Oh, so you're amending what you were gonna say.
I'm amending what I said last week, that this would help the residential market. This does not help. This new information.
Well, so can we maybe give them like a brief? Can we know? Are we just gonna assume that they know what we're talking about?
I'll go over it. So basically, this plan would limit the mortgage interest deduction to new and existing loans of $500,000 and under, down from $1 million. So it would also cap property tax deductions at $10,000. Essentially, I think overall this plan most likely. I haven't read the entire plan. Have you read?
I have not.
No. I'm 100% headline
Tonight, though,
reading.
I promise I will.
But a married couple being able to deduct $24,000 non-itemized, like that probably helps a lot of families. But it probably, not having the tax deduction on the home, probably doesn't entice them to go out and buy real estate.
No, but now that I'm sitting here sort of going through numbers, maybe a married couple now having the double then maybe frees up a little bit more cash. I don't know. It's a hard one.
I mean, like Pete Kostakis, who did the final word.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think
kind of spurred this discussion.
Maybe they would, though. Maybe they have a little bit more money. Maybe they're like, woo, now we're like double down, and now we can like buy a house.
Exactly. We don't exactly know what's going to happen, but Pete wrote, basically, if you get a $24,000 deduction without itemizing as a married couple, why would you get a home? That's, I think, if you already don't have one. Now you're talking about someone who's renting. They're going to now get this newfound deduction. But to your point, maybe a renter gets this newfound deduction, says, the heck with renting.
Right.
Now I want to go put that savings into a down payment.
But we're just talking about properties over $500,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I bought my first home at $300,000. So like that would be sweet. Right now I double down because I have like a husband, and I don't know.
So there is a great article on Inman if you want to dig a little bit deeper, and Jotham Cedar Storm.
Oh, every week
Holy moly.
We get into last
week. That's probably totally
I'm
wrong.
sorry, last week we hiccuped over friggin' Gill.
That's a staff writer. Trump tax plan unveiled, wealthy homeowners to pay more.
Actually, it was unveiled.
Unveiled. Whatever. I mean, I told you guys, if you're going to listen to The Real Word, just deal with the fact that Byron Lazine can't speak literally. Literally, I cannot speak.
I think you lost all your mojo last week on asterisk.
Oh, dude, I nailed it, though.
Nailed it.
I nailed it.
Totally nailed asterisk.
So, yeah, I think I want to amend that a little bit. Yes, if we're looking at Are you gonna buy that house over $500,000 because of the tax break? Probably not.
Keep in mind, though, singles are getting some more too, right? Head of household.
Yeah.
I mean, the singles are doubling. I mean, everyone's doubling down. So let's not just talk about married couples.
I mean,
it could really be anybody.
I mean, overall, we're looking at big companies getting the biggest tax break in this deal. More people are going to get potentially more money in their pocket. That can mean a lot of different things. It can mean short-term value for the economy going up and maybe, right? I'm not going to get into all that. I am still, one thing I will not amend is 2018 is going to be a great year. That could be at the detriment to 2020. Like we could see the world fall apart in 2 years. 2018 is going to be a great year.
Dude,
so if
stockpile now.
If you're thinking about selling, do it, right? If you have an opportunity to stockpile on, do it. I just think 2018 for all of us in the real estate game is going to be very fruitful. We have a second topic this week.
Wow, that's why we rushed through this one, right?
Yeah. Well, just a little quick amend of episode 5. Go check that out. But you presented shared an article with me.
Yeah,
on email.
We're gonna pull that one up. So on Realtor Magazine, they were talking about the the opioid crisis presents new threat to agents. And I think it's.
And I was just automatically thinking, geez, how many drug addict, alcoholic agents do I know? I mean, is that where they were going? But that's not where they were going with this at all.
Not at all where they were going. But I think it's super interesting to. It was funny because I first read it. I was like, they don't even. It doesn't even make sense to me. But it obviously does. I mean, obviously, the further you read along, and these people are trying to get into these homes to steal drugs.
Well, are you in this prescription drugs? Do you fall into the stat? Nearly 38% of real estate agents have admitted to fearing for their lives, basically, for their lives, for their personal safety. On the job at some point. Are you in that 38%? It says close to 50% if you're a female have at one point feared for your safety in the line of duty. I don't. I'm in the 38%.
You are, so you've legitimately been in a situation, or you made yourself believe that you were going to be in a bad situation.
I've literally been in a situation.
You have
where I started to fear for my safety.
Really?
Potentially, yeah.
So I think that I always go into situations like, hey, honey, like if you don't hear from me in 10 minutes, like there's a problem. So I enter situations if cautiously, but I can't say that I've ever been in a situation where I'm like, oh my goodness, how do I get out of this situation?
No. I mean, I was confident I was going to get out of it. It was a big piece of land.
Yeah.
It was over 50 acres. And I had a showing. Somebody had vetted out, and this is over $1 million piece of property. And
they came with like a knife, like, hey.
No. That person came. I knew that, saw the property. I had a call that morning on the same piece of property. I was in a rush, didn't do my due diligence on this person, said, hey, I'm showing it anyways. Why don't you show up? So my vetted client left. Mm-hmm. This individual shows up. Mm-hmm. I'm like, and I don't judge a book by their cover. We know a lot of people that drive beat up pickup trucks and are way more wealthy than our clients that are driving the Lex, right? This individual, if I was judging a book by the cover, I'm like, okay, doesn't have the money, doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Get out of the car, start asking the questions. Hey, so tell me again, what would you do with the land? How would you finance this deal if you bought it? And, a couple red flags. First one being, oh, well, I just hit big on this penny stock. I've got about $50 million coming in. And when that money comes in, then I'll be in position to buy. But I just want to make sure it's definitely coming in. It's like 27 days, like red, flags are going off now at this point. Like, okay, this guy is total bullshit.
Right.
So that doesn't make me nervous. Like, we deal with a lot of
I'm still kind of curious why I would even call in a piece of land. Like, let's get to the point here.
Right. So now we're walking the land. And I say, well, why don't we just come back, right? When your stock money comes in, the penny stock, you hit the lotto, let's do it then. No, we're here, he says, and we're standing right there. So I'm like, all right, let's go. So we're walking through and we're going through the woods. He's like, hey, come down to the pond with me. You really got to, I'm like, we can see the pond from here. We can see it. There's water. There's, it's all good.
What did he want to do to you?
He's like, come down. I really want you to walk down to the pond with me. I said, no.
He's going to like throw you underwater?
I've got a phone call right here. Like, I'm going to take this phone call right now. And, I'll watch you. You can go down. You can do your thing. He kept asking like 4 or 5 times, very oddly, made me feel uncomfortable. So I did pick up a rock, and it was no winter. I put it in my coat, like a legit rock, and I would have
That was brilliant. That was good. That was smart.
Yeah.
So it ended up happening. Like, see you later, dude. Like,
no, and at that point I was being very abrupt, like, and kind of, he walked down, he came back, and I said, all right, this is over. Like, once you get the money, like, call me back, and looked him up on Facebook. He looked like a total pedophile, and so I just, that's when I started judging a book by the cover. But
wow,
I did at that one point have I'm in the middle of the woods, by myself.
Yeah, and he wants to take you to like a lake or
and
a
he
pond,
wants me to walk down to the lake with him. Like, nah.
Interesting.
He never called me back, by the way.
No, I can't imagine. I mean, you had a rock in your pocket.
But that's not where this article's going
it's
at
not,
all.
But it
totally detoured there.
Right.
But so what they're saying is I believe, my intuition tells me that was a fake showing. That guy had some other motive. Don't know what it was. He was very odd.
Luckily, you don't have
very
to
sketchy.
Find out.
Don't have to find out.
Right.
But what they're saying is there are people out there that are setting up fake showings, so higher end homes, luxury properties, so that they can get into the medicine cabinets.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I mean, even when we do open houses, I always tell my sellers, or, like, move like your personals, not even open houses, just anytime, like if there's anything that's like super valuable, move it away. I mean, obviously we probably should be reminding them of their prescription drugs. It's a hard thing because you don't ever really know who's suffering, unfortunately, you know? I mean,
and people like,
I mean,
can hide it pretty well. I mean, there are like, teachers in the school system, for instance, that have a major drug problem that you would think are completely
absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I had a brother that had an addiction. He passed away, unfortunately. But I mean, it's something that I'm used to. So I'm like super cognizant of it. I can always tell sort of like the red flags of it just because I grew up in that environment. But I mean, I think it's definitely a really interesting and important topic to have, especially if we're talking about homes and agents bringing in, and then there was another one that got like tied up, and
it's a huge epidemic, like in the
people
sense
just
that like
flipping money, like they're breaking into cars, they're doing all sorts of things. The other day, actually, right down here, we live in like a little town. A neighbor 2 doors down, I know that he was an alcoholic, and he actually just went right into someone's car and like stole like a blow up Santa. Like this woman had like a blow up Santa in the car, and to me it was not of any value. But again, I mean, but if he can maybe return it to the store and get like $80, like it was like it was it was like a crime of sort of
Well, and I think more so with the fake showing thing, I haven't experienced that, but you certainly vacant homes. I just had a vacant home that was broken into right before closing. We don't live in a rough area, by the way.
No.
But this one just happened. Somebody came in, stole a couple appliances, which is, I don't think I'd be stealing appliances. Like,
no, but again, who knows? I mean, they're probably maybe they needed money.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's the bottom line. And
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, even if we don't live in like we live in like a really sort of upper middle class town here, and it's a huge epidemic here in our town.
It's almost like if you're not connected to somebody that has this issue, like, you're probably lucky. You're lucky, but you're probably not, your sphere is probably not too big. It's almost like everybody's been impacted by cancer. Everybody has now been impacted to some degree.
Right. Well, and I think the biggest thing is because I remember growing up, like everybody was in like super denial of it. So I think it's awesome and really super important for people to continue to have conversations about it so that families don't have to feel sort of embarrassed by it or feel like it's just them. And but anyway, I thought it was an interesting article. At first, I didn't really realize the correlation, but I mean, it's something to think about.
At the end of the day, it's another thing for agents to think about, to take caution. You're meeting new people every single day. Have a plan in place if you get into an uncomfortable situation, whether it's you're fearing for your safety or you think you have somebody that's on drugs.
Yeah, like, I mean, grab a rock and put it in your pocket.
Grab a rock, dude. Like, that's my tip of the day right there. Grab a rock. All right, we've got Keir Weimer set up for the final word. This is going to be the first final word where we don't comment on after. We're just going to let him roll.
He didn't give us, first of all, anything to comment on. Keir, I've never mentioned you before, but I love you. I listen to you every morning at 5 a.m. Well, not every morning, but every week it's your turn.
Yeah.
Dude, you really just you took it over. He took over our final. It's Keir's final word.
When Keir gave me, Keir and I have spent a lot of time together. I love you, brother. I think she was lying when she said that.
Wow. You just like to get all of the final word people against me. Even Tim Macy's still like, Nicole, like, do you still hate me?
He still hates you?
Well, I think he thinks that I hate him, and like he's trying to like extend the olive branch, and I'm like,
So far, except for the very first final word, that was just a random agent that I didn't know. Everybody I've known. But Kier, I've spent a lot of time with Kier. We've masterminded on many real estate topics in the past. We've met in Atlanta with Jeremy Cady, who's been on the final word, and kind of went through our whole business plans, right? Jeremy had, a few pages. I had the whiteboard and wrote it out for these guys,
Right.
like my style. And then Kier had literally like a prospectus, like a 50-page detailed plan. Kier can take over a little bit.
Totally makes sense. I mean, the amount that he talked there, I can
Yeah.
only imagine the amount that he would write. So we love you though, Kier. I'm so glad that you gave us a final word, but
Absolutely.
you left us no time. So I guess we'll like leave it to Kier to like
We're going to link Kier up, connect with him.
drop the final word.
Also, if you want to email us your final word, Byron@oneandcompany.com. Brian, it's Byron at One and Company, Nicole at One and Company. You put our last names in last time, which is fine.
So all of a sudden he's like, you had to sort of email aliases.
So I set up the alias real quick. See if you did email.
So
that
if you
one
do
last week.
Ccole White at One and Company,
It's all good.
come
It'll
to me.
still
Way to
get there.
confuse him now.
Yeah, or you
Whatever,
can
just look.
put it in the
I don't know.
comments. You can send us something through Instagram,
Way to
wherever.
call him out. Like,
Well, they can't see him, so
No.
he's fine. Brian's our video guy. So definitely drop us a final word. It can just be, you can take over like Kier. We prefer that you ask us a question that we can engage on. We're really, I'm having
but
fun
I'm
doing
proud
the
of
show.
him. I mean, he's been
Yeah.
all over the country today, and there's snow
he was
where
in
he is, and
he
then
was in Brooklyn. He's
gonna be in
wherever the heck he is.
York.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and
Are you having fun doing the show?
We hear about it. Dude, loads of fun. We still just need to figure out the temperature situation in here.
It's so hot in this office. So check out Kier Weimer's final word. Send us a final word if you want to. If you don't want to, you just push like dislike on this YouTube video.
or they can give us
whatever
some
you wanna
comments
do.
on like our topics.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about the tax plan? Have
Absolutely.
you run into any,
Crazy
unsafe
peeps out there?
situations? Yeah, like we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, stay safe. Love your comments and your feedback. We'll see you guys next time.
Good morning, everybody. The Real Word. This is Kier Weimer from Colorado Springs. Hey, Byron. Hey, Nicole. Wanted to come to you here for a moment and share a couple things as to why I'm standing out here in the cold in a t-shirt when it's 27 degrees in Colorado. There's snow on the ground, as you can see. Was not quite prepared for this. Winter is on the way. Are we ready to live and be in winter? So I got in really late last night from New York. I was at the Tom Ferry by Design Conference for 2 days, which was phenomenal. I'm out here now, got in at 3 a.m. I'm on 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Was up for the 5 a.m. call. And I don't say all this to brag. I say this because it's a sign of commitment, right? Things are important to me. I don't sacrifice no matter what. Now, I'm here today to share a message with you that really kind of is based in pursuing what is important to us at our core, meaning our personal passion project, our duty, our why, our mission, our vision, our higher calling, whatever it is. I know that we all have and want to do more than just build really successful real estate businesses. So for me, that has actually come in the form of reaching and inspiring people on a much larger scale through my story, through speaking, through writing, through coaching, through helping others really identify the inherent power that they have within, and then breaking through any limiting beliefs or challenges or hurdles, the many things that we encounter through life on a weekly, monthly, yearly basis. So I'm out here going to be presenting in front of hundreds of strangers at an Advance Your Reach speaking convention, working on my personal story, my message, helping to refine that craft, that story, to reach more people, to help more people, ultimately to find more audiences, and to really take this higher calling, this higher duty of mine to a new level. So I'm really excited to be out here. That's my message, which is find your passion, find your higher calling, find what it is that really drives you. And I know for most of us, it's not just being super successful business people, men and women, real estate team members, owners, etc. That's important. That creates a platform and a lifestyle and a way in which we can then do other things. So really take some time to get back to the basics, to think about what it is that you've wanted to do, book that convention, book that trip, go see that friend you haven't seen in a while, make that tough phone call, whatever it is, take some time and make sure you do it. hopefully that resonated with a few of you guys. Hope you're having an awesome, awesome start to this Wednesday here. I'm quite cold, so I'm going to go in and change. And, have an awesome day and rest of the week. Bye, guys.